Hello guys, today we're gonna be working with Unit 10. This week we are going to be working with Unit 10. So today we're gonna work with the first part of Unit 10A, let's say it that way, and it's called A Matter of Time. In this unit, we are going to discuss important past events, and also we are going to make predictions. That's for later. So today we are basically going to be working with discussing important past events. As you can see in here, we were working with trends and fads. Fads are, let's say, things that are very popular and then they stop being popular, so they're not popular very long. That happens in all of the generations. So trends and fads are something that I guess are going to be happening all the time. Today we have the grammar focus number 1, which is referring to time in the past. Of course, I have some extra information in here for the grammar. And in here we have these auxiliaries that we're going to use, which are during, in, ago, from, to, for, since. So basically this is what we have here. First we have for and since. So we use since plus the starting point, or since plus a time and a date. So we use sing when something started in the past and continues until now. For example, I have been a teacher since 2019. That means that in the past, in 2019, I started being a teacher, and today, in 2020, I am still a teacher. So I have been a teacher since 2019. Let's say I have been working since 8 o'clock, or I have been waiting for you since 8 o'clock. We have been in the English immersion program since January 2020, meaning that today we are still here. I have been living in Japan since 2015, meaning that in 2015 I moved to Japan, and basically I am still here living in Japan. Then we have for plus period of time plus number plus time word. So basically you say for to talk about the duration of time. For example, if I say I have been a teacher since 2019, I can also say I have been a teacher for 1 year. So basically I am just saying that starting now, well, if I count from today, 1 year back in the past, let's say I started being a teacher 1 year ago. So basically we use it to measure the duration of something, or how long it lasts. For example, for 5 days, I have been studying for 5 days. I have been learning English for 6 months. I have lived in this house for 2 years. Again, basically I am just saying the measure or the duration, measuring the duration of something. I studied English in Ireland for 2 years. So I spent 2 years studying English in Ireland. I will be there for around 2 months. So basically I am going somewhere else, and there I'm gonna be 2 months. I'm gonna be 2 months there. We have been married for 14 years. So basically 14 years ago we got married, and we have been married for this time, for this period, for 14 years. Then we have, again, this is what I said, since, which is when something is started in the past and continues until now. He hasn't eaten since 7 o'clock. I have been working here since June. We have been married since 2002. So basically I am just expressing, I am just saying when in the past I started this action, and in here I am just saying how long this action took place in my life. We also have during, we have for, and we have while. So we use during to state when something happened. Like, for example, the students were quiet during the lecture, or the fans were cheering during the game. So the game was happening and the fans were cheering. The lecture was happening and the students were quiet during that time, which is basically what we have here. Like, when did War One take place? During the 1910s, during the 20s, or during the 40s, meaning that it happened during or on this time while this other thing was happening. Then we have 4, which is what we just explained. That gives you the duration of time, the measurement. I have been studying for 3 hours. We waited in line for a long time. So I'm just explaining like how many minutes, hours, years did this action happen. And then we use while to talk about 2 things happening at the same time. So the dog was barking while I was trying to sleep. You were cooking while I was reading. I was studying while you were making noise, or while you were being noisy, basically. We use while for 2 things happening at the same time. Then we have ago and before. So ago is used to count back from the present. For example, her father died 4 years ago, meaning that basically if I start counting from today back 4 years back, her father died. Michael got a letter from her just a while ago. I was living in Paris 12 years ago. So let's say today, 12 years back, I was living in Paris. We went to visit my brother 2 weeks ago. So again, from today, 2 weeks in the past, 2 weeks ago, we were visiting my brother. And then we use before. Before is used when you date back from any point of time which is made specific, previous to a time, earlier than something else. So basically you use before to indicate that an action is going to happen, basically before another action happens. I'm going to the supermarket before I go to school. So first I'm going to the supermarket, and then later I'm going to school. I saw her 3 years before I went to Spain. So basically I saw her, and then 3 years later I went to Spain. Did you go home before my sister went to the gym? So I'm basically asking, did this action happen first or it happened later? That's what we are doing with before. This is some examples that we have in here, also in the book, which is the grammar, referring to time in the past. A point or period of time in the past. When was the first video game console released? During the 70s. So it happened in this time, during this time. In the 70s, we can also say. Or you can say over 40 years ago. We can use ago, depending on how you want to express your idea. How long were the Beatles together? So from 1960 to 1970, this is basically, like for example, how long did you spend in high school? And I can say, okay, I was in high school from 2009 to 2013. If someone asks you, like, how long were you in the immersion program? You could say, well, I was in the English immersion program from January 2020 to November 2020. Or I was in the English immersion program for 10 years. I was in high school for 4 years, and so on. A period of time that continues in the present. This is when we use since and for. So how long has Washington, D.C. been the capital of the United States? Since 1800. So Washington, D.C. became the capital of the United States in 1800, and right now, today, in the present, it still is the capital of the United States. So we say since 1800, or for about 220 years. So basically, I am just saying the amount of time this has happened. This is what we have for today. It's not a very hard grammar if you guys practice it. We have this exercise in here. So you will need to complete these paragraphs with the words in bold, meaning with during, in, ago, from, to, for, since, and for. You will guys need